Hey everyone, welcome back. So I'm here in Hainesport, New Jersey, and I'm standing in front of Big Rusty. Now, Big Rusty is just one of many troll sculptures from the artist Thomas Dambo. So I'm going to walk around a bit and take some photos with the Praktica MTL3 and the Pentax SMC Takumar 50mm f2 lens, and I'm going to shoot some Arista 200 black and white film. So hang out a while, because I want to talk a bit about the Praktica MTL3, and then I want to show you some photos that I've taken with this camera and lens combo. And not only from here in Hainesport, New Jersey, but also some photos that I've taken upstate New York in the town of Hudson. So, in my last video, I talked about the Frugal Film project as well as the camera that I chose for that project. That camera being the Praktica MTL3, which is a 35mm single lens reflex camera that was manufactured by Pentacon of East Germany. Now, the Praktica brand goes back as far as 1949, but the MTL3 was just one of many models in the L series of Prakticas, which ran from 1969 to 1989. Now, this particular model, even though it was built from 1978 to 1984, is still very comparable feature-wise to certain earlier cameras made from the mid-60s to the early 70s out of Japan. Cameras like the Spotmatic II. Now, the main features being that they both used M42 screw mount lenses, and they also had a stop-down through-the-lens metering system versus open aperture metering, which was starting to become mainstream by the mid-60s. A bit clunkier, built like a tank, but nowhere near as refined looking as the Spotmatic, the MTL3 did share similar features to the Spotmatic II. You see, I'm using a Pentax lens on a Praktica camera, and only reason is because of the Frugal Film project at a certain budget to stay within, so that happened to work out with the screw thread Pentax lens versus the East German lenses now are starting to become a little harder to find, and they're becoming a little more expensive. So besides the screw thread lens mount, what are the other functions that are similar to the Spotmatic? The other things that are similar, again, the stop down button for the light meter, which also is the depth of field preview button. And on the Spotmatic, of course, it's on the opposite side. Have a self timer. The shutter speed dial and the ASA dial are integrated, and they go from 1,000th of a second to B. You have a tripod mount on the bottom, and what else? The hot shoe. So they pretty much, oh, and also you have an X-Sync terminal too, which is on the bottom of the camera. So feature-wise, they're very, very similar. But the one thing that was a little different on the Praktica cameras versus the Japanese cameras was the loading system. And I'm going to show you how the film gets loaded into this camera, and it's a pretty easy system. What's also pretty unique about the Praktica film loading system, when you open the back of the camera, and again, just like almost any other camera, you just pull up on the rewind lever, and you'll notice on the take-up spool, there's this like a little spring wire. I'm going to insert the cassette, and then what you do is you just bring the film along, and there's like a little block, and you just insert the film under this little block and under this wire. All right, and then you'll feel the sprocket. You'll feel the sprockets connect to the gears, and then really that's all you have to do. Release the shutter, and then as I advance the film, you see this wire wrap around, fold and grab the film, and make it extremely easy. But that's it, and then close the back up. I always recommend tighten up your rewind knob, release one, and just double check to make sure that your rewind knob spins around and your film is loaded correctly in the camera. So there is one other thing I want to mention about the Praktica L series versus the Spotmatics is that the Praktica has a metal shutter, which gives it a synchronization speed for flash of 1/125th of a second, where all the Spotmatics use the cloth shutter, which has a 1/60th of a second flash synchronization speed. So that's pretty much it for the Praktica MTL3. And if you made it this far, please check out the photos. And once again, I thank you so much for viewing, and I'll catch you on the next one. So now I'm going to be heading much further north through the Hudson Valley until I reach the town of Hudson, New York. There I will be using the same camera and lens combination, and I'll also be using the same film. And the film developer that I used for the photos in Hainesport was black, white, and green, dilution 1:49. And for the photos in Hudson was Clayton F76 Plus, dilution 1:9.